right, boys, I got to get this off my chest. Just got back from San Francisco. I watched the Lions-Niners game, and wow, This really is the first time in my sports watching life that I've ever felt this incredibly sad and disappointed and frustrated. For years, we've just been so bad that you just accept it. But when you're this close to actually being there, God, I almost wish we just hadn't made it sometimes. Obviously, I don't actually feel that way, but yikes. Let's talk about this game. Lions at 49ers NFC Championship. Our opening drive was immaculate. Jamison Williams reverse, broke some tackles, scores instantly. Niners Stadium got real quiet right then. And then on the next drive, we stop them. We get the ball back. We score again, 14-0. Niners respond with a touchdown at the end of the first half. It's 24-7. We have a 17-point lead. We're 30 minutes away from the Super Bowl. And then everything fell apart. Honestly, I think the first thing that really changed the tide, changed the momentum of that game, was Brock Purdy hucking that ball up to Brandon Ayuk. Now, granted, Brian Branch had a DPI that was picked up, so he probably gets the pass interference here anyway. He does kind of bump into Ayuk in the route, but then he drops the interception. It bunks off his helmet, and then Brandon Ayuk makes an incredible catch.
Face mask. And give credit there to Brandon Ayuk.
Again, there was a flag on the field. The refs picked it up. So I think the Niners get those yards anyway. But I honestly believe the fact that Ayuk caught it was such a difference maker in terms of how loud the stadium got and how much momentum the Niners got from that incredible play. The best analogy I could give is in basketball. In basketball, if you get fouled and you go to the free throw line, you shoot 2 free throws and make them both, that's 2 points. But if you posterize windmill dunk someone in a close game, that's also 2 points. So technically, it's the same result, but doing the windmill poster gets the fans into it, gets the team into it, and you can feel the tides shift. So when Ayuk caught that ball and they picked up the flag, that stadium was like, yo, we're actually going to come back, and they go on and score. Now it's 24-17. At this point, we needed to stop the bleeding. After the Niners have now scored on us twice unanswered, we have an opening drive, a statement drive, where we need to get down the field and score to stop the bleeding, and Jahmyr Gibbs instantly fumbles. Niners take over at the 20, and they instantly score again. We just choked a 17-point lead in 8 minutes of football. That shouldn't even be possible. The offense doesn't execute. Niners take over. Niners score again. Then we get down to another 4th down conversion. Niners are now winning by 3, and Dan Campbell goes for it again. This one I fully disagreed with. I gotta say, this was so heartbreaking because number one, you've already failed the last one. You're now losing by 3. You should kick that field goal. I agree with everyone who says we should have kicked that second one. I don't think he should have kept going for it. You know what it reminded me of was the Cowboys game. You guys remember the Cowboys game where, somebody didn't report eligible? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Who knows what really happened? But at the end of the day, we were going for 2 from the 7-yard line. We had multiple opportunities to go for 2. Then we get backed up after a penalty. Then we keep going for it. At some point, it does feel like Dan Campbell is so aggressive that he can't turn it off. You know what I mean? Like that first 4th down conversion, going for it, I love it. That's aggressive. He doesn't get it. You would think the next time in that same scenario, it's like, okay, we failed to do this last time. We're bleeding points right now. Let's take the field goal this time. He couldn't turn it off. I think Dan Campbell's an amazing coach. I don't want to sit here and rip on Dan Campbell, but I do think that second field goal attempt was a bad call. We don't convert. We turn the ball over to San Francisco. They're up by 3 now. They have the ball. There's 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter. San Fran marches all the way down, scores another touchdown. Yeah. So now we're down by 10, and here's where things got so frustrating for me. This made me more mad than anything in the game, and I haven't really seen anybody talking about it. We're down by 10. We march the ball all the way down to the goal line. Brock Wright gets a pass. He tries to dive forward and get the end zone. He doesn't. Now it's 2nd and goal. On 2nd and goal with 1 minute left and 3 timeouts, we hand the ball off. We get stuffed. The clock is ticking. Now it's 3rd and goal. Dan Campbell calls a timeout. This, to me, was the single worst play of the entire game. You're down by 10 points. There's 1 minute left in the game, and you have 3 timeouts. You have to go no huddle. You have to go no huddle and score that touchdown. You only need 2 yards. If you can't get 2 yards, you don't deserve to win the ball game. He calls that timeout, and on the ensuing play, we do get a touchdown, right? So now we're down by 3 points, and we have only 2 timeouts left, and we're under a minute, which means either we get the onside kick or the game's over. Well, guess what? We don't get the onside kick. The Niners run the ball. They run the ball and then they kneel it, and the game is over. Now, if you have 3 timeouts in that scenario, the Niners are forced to either get a first down or punt the ball back. So you at least are giving Jared Goff and the offense an opportunity to get in field goal range with roughly, 35, 36 seconds on the clock. You have no timeouts. It would be very difficult, but it's better than the opportunity that was given to us, which was none. That really was the most frustrating part of that game to watch. I understand that we didn't get in on 2nd and goal and the clock was moving. No huddle, get your ass in there. Preserve the 3 timeouts and give your team an opportunity without relying on the onside kick. You guys will see a full video on this. I did a vlog on the MMG channel, and you can see my live reactions to all of these plays during the game. So hopefully it doesn't seem like I'm sitting up here being hindsight 2020. I shared these same opinions while watching the game. Like when we went for it on 4th down the first time, I'm going crazy. I'm excited. I'm like, let's go, Dan Campbell. That's aggressive. I love it. The second time, I'm like, and I have a front row view to that second 4th and 3 that we didn't convert. They were on our side of the field. Jared Goff basically snapped that ball right in front of me. We were front row, so I am staring, watching, camera on. It was so depressing. You could see it. Oh, so depressing. And then a few things I haven't talked about yet. Obviously, Josh Reynolds dropped some very, very crucial, very easy passes. No pass in the NFL is easy, but Josh Reynolds usually doesn't get a lot of targets, but it felt like in this playoff run, he was the guy to go to. He was huge in the Rams win. He was huge in the Buccaneers win. It almost felt like he had really established this trust with Jared Goff that, hey, I'm a guy you can throw to in the playoffs, and I'm going to catch that shit. God, he really did suck in the Niners game. I hate to say that. You know, I'm a fan of the team, and I hate to be dramatic, but damn, he sucked. He wasn't the only one either. Jamison Williams dropped a touchdown pass. It would have been a pretty difficult pass, but Jamison Williams dropped a touchdown pass. Amon-Ra St. Brown dropped a pretty easy open one. There was a shocking amount of chest-dropped passes for an NFL team. And then obviously the Jahmyr Gibbs fumble, that was inexcusable. It's just a really sad way to go out. One thing that I was thinking about, though, is we 100% lost the game. It was our game to lose, especially after halftime when we're utterly dominating. I think it was a very fairly refereed game. There was no call in particular where I was bitching and crying. Also, got to give it to Brock Purdy. I don't think Brock Purdy was very spectacular throwing. Felt like he was just pretty average. But down the stretch, he had some incredibly clutch scrambles. He was getting mobile in some of the biggest moments, picking up conversions, especially in that 4th quarter. So yeah, he threw an interception. I don't think his passing game was spectacular, but dude, he was very clutch in the 4th quarter when his team needed him to go pick up those first downs on the ground, and we didn't expect it. Aiden Hutchinson was taking these aggressive looping blitz angles. By the way, Hutchinson's amazing. I'm not blaming Hutchinson. I just don't think anybody thought that Purdy was going to take off. Hutch is coming around deep, and our D tackle's kind of getting stuffed, and there's this massive gap for Purdy to run through, and he just took off multiple times. Shout out to Brock Purdy. He definitely deserves my apology, and I think I've got a few more things to say. I owe an apology to the Detroit Lions, to Brad Holmes, and to Dan Campbell. When we drafted at the NFL draft this last year, I was so frustrated with our decisions. I couldn't believe that we didn't draft Bijan Robinson. I was confused why we traded down to take Jahmyr Gibbs. I thought it was a horrible decision. Jahmyr Gibbs had such an amazing season. I refuse to look at that fumble as if Jahmyr Gibbs is bad. Jahmyr Gibbs was awesome. He was a stud rookie running back. And trading down allowed us to also get Sam Laporta, Jack Campbell, Brian Branch. 3 guys who were incredibly impactful. And don't get on me about Brian Branch catching that interception. Shit did not matter. There was a flag on the field. They would have called DPI if Brian Branch had caught it. They just picked up the flag probably to give Brandon Ayuk the receiving yards and not to take away from a really cool catch. That's my opinion on that play. Laporta was amazing, super clutch. He was probably our most surefire guy. He was the safest guy to throw to in that game. And Jack Campbell, he's going to be a really good middle linebacker in this league for a long time. My apologies to Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. I should have trusted, and from here on out, I will be trusting this organization and the decisions they make. This was such a bummer, such a sad game to lose, but it is really cool as a fan of a team that has been historically dog shit to even go to the NFC Championship. So that was a really cool experience. I wish we could be in the Super Bowl, but it's just not our year right now, but we will have our time. I'm confident in that. I really don't know who I'm rooting for in the Super Bowl, whether that's the Niners or the Chiefs. It's really tough to root for the team that just beat you, but it's really tough tough to root for Kansas City. I don't want to root for those dudes. I'm sick. It's Tom Brady all over again, bro. I saw the Patriots in the bowl so many years. We fucking get it. We get it, bro. It's so tough. That is, it's a bummer for the Chiefs, though. That's just how it works. When teams are really, really good for a long time, people will always hate you. That's just how it goes. I guess I'll just be watching kind of impartial on the Super Bowl. This is my reaction to the game as a Lions fan. I'm excited for the future of this team. That loss is on us, dude. We didn't execute in the second half at all. And it's no specific person's fault. It was an entire team effort loss. All right, y'all. I love you guys. It's going to be a sad Super Bowl, boys. America did not win. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.